Also, they found increased perceptual ability. That is, that the people who meditate regularly have greater perceptiveness. When they walk into a room and when they leave that room, they can tell you what was in the room more easily than a person who is not meditating. So there's increased perceptual ability. Also, they found an increase in perceptual motor performance, in the ability to perform tasks. They have these psychological tests where you have to do certain movements, do certain things, put things in different places. They found a significant increase, whereas non-meditators had a score of 2.5, meditators had a score of 7. It's 3 times the non-meditators. It's studying high school students in Holland during a 1-year period, studying those who meditated and those who didn't meditate. The non-meditators had an increase of intelligence of 10 points during that year, whereas the meditators had an increase of 28 points. Again, about 3 times. Our intelligence is increased. Our ability to understand is increased. Memory is increased. Non-meditators in a study had a long-term memory of 32%, whereas meditators had a long-term memory of 52%, 20% more. And the short-term memory, the control group, the non-meditators, had a 37% short-term memory, whereas the meditators had a 70% short-term memory, that they were able to remember 70% of the things. Increased academic performance, that students or any people who are studying are able to understand and perform academically much more effectively. And increased job productivity. They measured people working in various areas and measured control groups of people not meditating and people meditating. They found a 40% increase in job satisfaction, a 50% increase in job performance, a 15% decrease in desire to change jobs. People became more satisfied with their work. 45% increase in the quality of relationships with supervisors, and a 65% increase in the quality of relationships with co-workers. So much better relationships with co-workers and with supervisors. In the development of the personality, the following attributes of the personality tests were discovered. That there is a greater inner directedness, that people who meditate obtain a greater sense of being directed from within rather than being directed from without. Greater self-acceptance, greater feeling of accepting themselves. Greater spontaneity. These are through psychology tests, which were done on meditators and non-meditators, but also on people before they started meditating, and then after 6 months, and then after a year. So it's both kinds of tests. How I perform on the psychological test today and how I perform after a year of meditation or 9 months of meditation. Greater self-regard, greater ability to accept aggression through understanding, that is, not losing it when people are being aggressive around them. Greater capacity for intimate contact with those around them. Greater inner control, and decreased anxiety. In addition, they found reduced depression, less depression, increased friendliness and liveliness, decreased tendency to dominate, less need to dominate others, more democratic behavior, greater respect for others. Through meditating, people obtain a greater sense of respect for other people, greater emotional stability, increased staying power, stamina, that is, ability to keep increased staying power, stamina, ability to keep going even when tired, even when things are difficult, but less rigidity, more fluid, not so rigid, and greater self-actualization. So on this personality test, the group average was a measurement of 30 when they started. After 6 weeks, it had risen to 35, and after 43 months, it had risen to 50. Their scores on these personality tests.